afternoon, dear friends. With a heart full of happiness and joy, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to you all for accepting our invitation to celebrate Iwan's first anniversary together as the multilingual children's bookshop in the first and only time in the history of Queensland. My valued friends, the fact that I have the honor to be your host today is such an achievement for the purpose Iwan was designed to serve. It is not an exaggeration if I tell you that my small family is coming from a very long and adventurous journey. My partner and I are from a history full of victories and failures. We are the children of a land whose literature is fertile with all sorts of stories, tales and anecdotes that have a lot to teach and a lot to regret. But we decided to write our own chapter, and that was the beginning of the idea of Iwan. Iwan is the breed of a joyful dream, the utopia we had in mind for all the children with whom we are blessed to read the word anew. And yes, this small family is coming from a journey full of experiences. We have learned to live with the nostalgia of the scent of our homeland trees and flowers. We have learned to embrace the pain of melancholia when it finds us in our hidden dungeon after a long day of work. We have learned to adore the heavenly scent of these cypress trees on the patio in every single rainy day. We have learned to let our souls fly through these glorious books. We have learned to overcome our fears and prejudices. We have learned to acknowledge the beauty of all other languages and cultures. And we have learned to love. And with this love, we have learned to create. Iwan is not merely a bookshop. To us, Iwan is that safe place we need to set our minds free and create. Today, we are well aware of the fact that we are not alone in this way of thinking. You are invited to the first anniversary of Iwan so that this baby knows the reason why she was born and how much she is loved. For without this feeling of love, Iwan wouldn't be able to grow up to witness the preciousness of her life. My humble friends, from our baby boy Siavash and all the children, we have learned to admire friendship beyond the boundaries of languages. It is needless to mention our respect for all languages and cultures, but it is needed to gather together occasionally to celebrate the respect. I will always like to consider myself a mother, for this is the strongest feeling in the world that urges me to look and move forward. My gentle friends, as a mother, I am deeply sensitive toward the future of our children. Our children deserve to experience the best of life as once we did. And this wouldn't be applicable unless they are exposed to good books early in childhood. Reading is the key word. Iwan belongs to a family without any social, educational, ethnical, and racial restrictions. As a mother, I would like to welcome you all to the big family of Iwan, where we can celebrate our differences together. Thank you all for listening. Through the past year in Iwan, we had the pleasure of meeting with and befriending beautiful souls. One true friend who has accompanied us all along the way is Mya Whatson. Mya was offered a scholarship to study both piano and cello at the University of Queensland, but she chose to study classical piano at the Queensland Conservatorium. She has utterly elegant performances, and music is her sacred way of communication. At the moment, I would like to ask our young, talented friend to play a piece. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much, Mya, for this beautiful piece as well. I have read about and witnessed the destruction of numerous cities around the world. When you look at the flourishing and prosperity in a city, you are witnessing the righteous success in the outcome of hard work. The achievement of a group of people who work together with passion, which would not be actualized without the presence of a knowledgeable supervision. Our gorgeous city of Brisbane is so lucky to have such supervision, a devoted man and a courageous father. I would like to invite Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner to share with us his experience and point of view as a man who comes from a multicultural and multilingual background, and a man who is devoted to a city with multicultural diversities. Please join me to welcome Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the kind invitation to join you today for what is a really special occasion. It's a first birthday.
Yes.
And having 4 kids I know what a first birthday is like. They are always very excited about what is happening, but they're not really sure what is going on at the same time. So they know there's a great sense of achievement and excitement, but they're not also sure what the future holds. But there's always a sense of optimism and a sense of achievement that they've made it to 1 year of age. And so congratulations on the milestone of the first birthday. And this is the first of many, many, I have no doubt. This is a unique business. It is incredibly courageous to start a business at any time. When you hear the statistics on the number of new businesses that don't survive, they're quite alarming. But to start a business during COVID, that is even more courageous. And so I can see that the three of you are very courageous. And I also have to say the type of business that this is incredibly unique. And it's sad that it's unique, but it is incredibly unique. I'm someone that loves bookstores, and I love books. And it's actually been a great disappointment of mine to see the number of bookstores in our cities becoming smaller and smaller over time. And in some ways, closing down for the same reason that record stores closed down in the main, because people are buying their books online. But you will never be able to replace the feel and the importance of a physical bookstore. I have no doubt about that. And books are important for so many reasons, but one of the most important things about books is you have to look at what happens when books are taken away or restricted in a particular city. You said you saw cities, I guess, rise and fall. And one of the most important and alarming signs in any community or any city is when people start destroying books or restricting access to books. And if that is an alarming sign for a city, then it shows how important books are. And so just that simple fact in itself is something that we should absolutely celebrate our bookstores. It was once said that a person who reads books lives 1,000 lives, and someone who doesn't read lives only one life. And I look around this bookstore and I see 1,000 lives to be lived. But I also see the uniqueness of it with the multilingual nature of this bookstore. And I was just saying before about, I guess, my sense of disappointment, and I love my parents, that in their generation, I didn't have the opportunity to read these books and to learn German. So my dad originally came from Germany, but his view very clearly, and it was the view of many people at the time, was you just need to be an Australian. You just need to fit in. You don't need to know German, so we're not going to teach you German. And so I have wonderful parents, but there's only one gripe that I've ever had with my parents, and that is that I wasn't able to learn German at a young age. It's always harder to learn a language when you're older, and it's one of those things on my bucket list always to learn to speak German fluently, but I wish that I had this opportunity. And I'm so pleased that there are children in the city of Brisbane that now have this opportunity and this opportunity and this opportunity to be in a unique multilingual bookstore, which is so important. So congratulations on your achievement of reaching the 1 year milestone. As I said, I know there will be many, many more successful years. And also congratulations on your selection of a location which is in such an important and multicultural part of the city, and I acknowledge the local councillor Vicky Howard, who is absolutely passionate about this part of Brisbane, and may your business be successful, and may you contribute to the children and the adults of Brisbane living those 1,000 lives through their books. So thank you for having me, and congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very beautiful and informative speech. Once we started to send our invitations, one figure responded with such passion, energy, and encouragement. His resume of hard work and authentic service to the community is highly astonishing. And no surprise that his attitude brings so many people together to live in harmony and innovation. I would like to welcome Professor Michael Rosemanne, the Director of the Center for Future Enterprise at QUT, Professor of Innovation Systems and Honorary Consul of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Yeah, thank you so much, and salam. Yeah, bonjour, buongiorno, buenos dias. Good day, guten Tag, and good afternoon. Happy birthday, of course, yeah, so it's tremendous, and I can only repeat what our LordMayor said. It's an event that you should be incredibly proud, and it's great news that you're the only bookshop, and it's sad news that the only bookshop that has multiple language support here. I think on behalf not only of the German community but of the French and all the other communities, I'd like to thank you and the entire family here for what you're doing. Books for me are about empathy and education. I get quite sentimental. I mean, the books I read when I was a child, and books bring out memories from when someone read them to you, when you read them, and now being father myself, when you read them to your kids. Books are inheritance. Books are something that pass on from generation to generation. And when you believe the world is moving a million miles an hour, books somehow stay stable and remain relevant. And I find it fascinating. And we have the same with music, yeah? So I appreciate your talent as well. And it's amazing how you can perform pieces that might be 200 years old, and they create so much joy. And books are very similar, of course, yeah? So what you do is something that is, of course, timeless and helps us with protection of what matters to all of us. So that sort of empathy and books can be incredibly emotional is something that I value, that you cherish this. The other one is education, of course, yeah? So looking at our German teachers here, our kids need to be inspired. And learning languages is so beautiful. It probably doesn't even matter what language you learn. But studies have shown that those who speak more than one language expand their memory. Yeah? So whether it's delaying dementia, remembering shopping lists. And I think there's a reason why Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot, the big investigators, they're all multilingual. People claim that when they speak more than one language, they see alternatives. Yeah, there's a tisch, there's a tableau, there's a table, and the same thing has got 3, 4, 5 different meanings. And they coexist. And it helps us in the future when alternatives emerge as opposed to having one world view. And the more we have alternatives, the more we have diversity, that's to be celebrated. So I think what you do here is also create future innovators by offering them different languages. Just on a personal note, it would be wonderful to see our LordMayor picking up some German. And German is incredibly trivial, yeah? Unlike English, where you have silent letters, yeah, like a Ni has a K that somewhat disappeared. In German it's very easy, yeah? It's Knie, yeah? There's a very firm K. That's why sometimes German sounds very tough and very hard, because everything is visible. So it's very simple. If you want to say motor insurance, you just say Haftpflicht-Kraftfahrtversicherung. Yeah, there's nothing silent. It's got 36 letters. Every letter can be pronounced clearly. So it's a pretty straightforward language. So with this again, from all of us, happy birthday. I'm deeply grateful, and it might be bad for you, but good for all of us if within Queensland we see some who follow your success. And having people who follow your success, I think, is the best and most impressive credentials you could have in the legacy that you're leaving. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor, and you could easily just bring so much sense of humor today, which I couldn't, so thank you. So, oh yeah. It's good to be multilingual. But last speech of the day is privileged with the presence of the director at Alliance Française de Brisbane, Monsieur Jerome Carujo, a man who welcomes challenges and new concepts to develop and help others develop. Please welcome Monsieur Jerome Carujo.
Thank you. So, dear Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, you said that speaking more than one language helps remember things. I'm not so sure because I won't say much, but I needed to write it down. So it's. So I'm the newly appointed director to the Alliance Francaise in Brisbane. I have arrived 1 month ago, so I've been out of quarantine just 14 days ago.
Shouldn't you be wearing a mask?
It's okay. I've been vaccinated. And so when I arrived, I came with my family, and my wife is Korean, so I know the importance of reading books to your children and to read books in different languages. And my children, so they speak French, they speak Korean, and they really spoke some English, and now they would be speaking English. I feel they are so lucky to be able to speak that many languages. And I'm a bit like you, Lord Mayor. My dad is Portuguese, but he never taught me Portuguese. And I really feel that there is something missing from that. Hopefully you will have more luck learning German than I had learning Portuguese, because I'm still pretty bad at it. But and when I arrived here in Brisbane, many people told me that, oh, you will see Australians are monolingual. And yet when you walk in Brisbane, you can hear so many languages speaking. You can hear Chinese, Korean, Greek, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. I'm doing my part here. And also, people say Australians are monolingual, yet I've been invited, and I'm so happy to be here and to this multilingual bookshop, and to see that many books and this really great selection of French books. It's really fills me with joy. I'm so happy that you are offering all this to the community of Brisbane. I would be so happy to promote it at the Alliance Francaise. We are having lessons for young kids also, and these lessons are all about books, and the teachers are reading books to them, and at the end of the day they will go back home with a French book. It's such a great way to introduce the culture and the language, and so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I am taking this up. So, thank you all for helping us to make this afternoon memorable and everlasting in the history of Ivan. From Ivan and the great Persian literature, we would like to offer the Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner, the most famous epic ever written in the history of Iran, the Shahnameh by great sage Ferdowsi. So this Shahnameh is quite heavy for me. So this is the one that I would like Iman to please help me with this. You can give it.
That's basically designed.
Oh wow!
It's calligraphy, and it's about 58,000 poems.
Wow!
About history of the kings of Iran. Yeah.
It's heavy.
Thank
you so much. Actually, I'm going to take the mask off, sorry. So you can see how big my smile is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
So, for the rest of this afternoon, please gather together to have some ensemble photos as a memoriam of this afternoon. And we've got this board of memoriam, which we would be very happy if you could just leave your signatures on. And yes, please treat yourself to those delicious blends outside, which are provided by a fabulous team. Thank you very much.